This time around, I will be discussing my review of the book 15 Secrets Successful People Know About Time Management by Kevin Kruse. It's a fantastic book, and the review is concise and very good too. So, this is probably the last book on productivity I really need to read. Of course, I'm sure at some point in the future I will read something else, something new. But with this and The One Thing and Eat That Frog, and I know there's a couple other books, but those are the biggest ones. That's basically the picture. So without further ado, let's get into this book. Time is your most important asset. Once it's gone, you can never get it back. Thus, using your time wisely is crucial. Things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. That's Goethe. You must know what to focus on and exactly how you are going to get it done. You want to maximize clarity in both. Figure out your most important goal. The task that is most important to achieving this goal is your most important task. Make your most important task a calendar item and book it as early in the day as possible. And you do that because it's when your brain is the freshest and theoretically when you have the most energy. Calendars beat to-do lists. If you truly want to get something done, you must schedule it. Include exactly when and how you accomplish this task. So, here's what the book says on using a calendar. First, schedule a block of time for everything that is important to you. Working out, time with family, amorphous free time, work time, etc. Second, important items should be scheduled as early in the day as possible. Again, both because this is when you are mentally sharpest and because it is unlikely that something will come up and distract you. Third, don't cancel goals. Reschedule them if you were interrupted. Fourth, treat your time-blocked calendar entries as if they are vital appointments, and follow the schedule. This will take time to master, granted, but do not give up. Following a schedule is crucial for high functioning. More scheduling info. Time block, buffer, relaxation, and sleep time into your schedule. Do not eat into your sleep time, so to speak, unless it is truly an emergency. If you want to do anything, like listening to music, video games, whatever, that free time stuff, you have to schedule it, and you don't go over the time you've given yourself. For important tasks and learning, the longer you can schedule an uninterrupted block of time, the better, because you build momentum. Beating procrastination. Number 1, eliminate all distractions and useless tasks. Number 2, use areas dedicated to a task for only that thing, i.e., do not entertain yourself where you work. Do not work where you sleep, so on and so on. And I'll quickly explain why you don't do that. So maybe you have watched TV in your bed every night before you've gone to sleep, right? And then you realized, oh, I can't go to sleep unless I watch TV. That's horrible. And the blue light from the TV, the blue light from the laptop screens or whatever you're doing before sleep, maybe you have insomnia or sleep problems, and that's likely it. Your bed should be for sex and for sleep, and it shouldn't be for anything else. You shouldn't work in your bed. You shouldn't do anything. Number 3, structure things so that your future self can't screw up. This is the whole point of a schedule, is so that right now you can say, I want to do this because it helps me work towards a goal that I find meaningful. And so you write it down, you have this schedule, and then your future self finds it hard to come up with an excuse to not do it. That's it. For example, if you want to lose weight, don't keep any shitty food in your house. Your future self will likely find an excuse to eat that crap, so just get rid of it. So it's not just the schedule that rule speaks to. It's everything. Maybe you drive to work and you often pick up fast food at one of the fast food restaurants. Maybe there's a different way you can drive to work, or a more circuitous, time-wasting way, which will make it more difficult for you to get your fast food. Now, ultimately, you're just going to have to execute discipline and not eat that crap. But don't make it easier, right? Number 4, think of all the benefits of doing the right thing and picture all of the horrible consequences of procrastinating. Now, a lot of people, they think of the positive. Oh, if I do my goals, I get this, I become healthy and sexually attractive and blah, 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 whatever it is you want. But people, they don't often willingly think of the negative. And the negative is actually in many ways more motivating, especially for something like losing weight. You think about, oh, well, if I don't lose the weight, I'm probably going to die of a heart attack, horrible shape, sexually unattractive, die in a premature and painful way. That's more motivating than just looking good. And so I absolutely believe in the power of negative motivation. And I don't think it should be something that you discount unless you literally have, if you have some kind of eating disorder or something, obviously that doesn't fall in this. But there's a reason why your brain has these negative thoughts. And you should listen to them in the sense, and as long as they're not, again, maladaptive, you should listen to your negative thoughts and these voices, because they're actually quite often telling you important things. Now, all you have to do is put in the work. Of course, that's the hard part, wouldn't you know it? Okay, number 5, have people around you that hold you accountable. So if you have a workout buddy or if you're part of a workout group, it's easier to work out. People expect you to work out. If you don't, you have that social stigma, and there's really nothing more motivating for most people than social consequences and shame and that kind of shit. I also put here, join a study group. That doesn't actually really work, but it is good for socializing. Now, I would say if you are one of these people who just can't study at all, yeah, a study group will help. But at a higher level, a study group will kind of waste your time, because it's really better for socializing than actually learning. You can definitely learn better on your own. Number 6, reward yourself for goal attainment and punish yourself for goal failure. So, if you fail a goal, you should make one or more of your free time sessions into work time. That's a good punishment. And you have the upside of getting more shit done. Now, if you're already, moving on absolutely all cylinders, then I can't really think of a good punishment. I guess I don't know, but you're probably not using literally every amount of time possible to try to see to your goal. So that is a good self-punishment. It's just to make yourself work more. Number 7, just get started immediately. And that's how you beat procrastination. Okay. Continuing the review. Read at least one book a week. Even a very busy person can get through audiobooks while driving and exercising. Of course, I'm a huge fan of learning, and I'm a huge fan of taking notes. And so that is the one disadvantage of listening to books in your car. But it beats nothing. It certainly beats nothing. And so I advise that. I advise that in pretty much every fucking thing I put out, because it's just such a key piece of advice to use that time for something productive and not listen to the radio. Make time for dinner with your family, for fuck's sake. There will always be more to do. Once you've put in your time for the day with energy and focus towards your important tasks, then you can kind of lay off, spend time with your family. That is ultimately more important. Work out. Get your fucking sleep. These things are not worth sacrificing at all. Carry a notebook wherever you go. Write down the important shit / thoughts, ideas, and things that need to be scheduled in the future. If you want to be able to put it in your pocket, you can buy a waiter's pad. I'm trying to find something that holds up a bit better, but that is definitely good enough. I know Richard Branson and a lot of the billionaires have the full-scale notebook, and you can do that. But like, what do you do when you go shopping? I guess you leave it in your car. But you have your phone, so if you have to, you can use that. Anyway, but this next thing kind of answers that or speaks to that. Take notes by hand, not on a computer. Much greater recall of the information this way, and that's true. If you're in a class, I just can't say enough that you really shouldn't be taking the notes on the computer. You should be taking it by hand. And I've done so many of these book reviews by now. A lot of the audiobooks, especially early on, I listened to them and I typed them up while I was listening to them. And recently I've gone completely away from the audiobooks and completely to reading and taking handwritten notes. And the retention is just a world better. It's so much better when you write it by hand. Okay, so next up is mastering email. So you unsubscribe from newsletters and any other crap that's filling up your inbox. Turn off notifications. Only check email 3 times a day. Morning, not until you've accomplished your most important task for the day. So don't check your email when you wake up, fuckhead. You wait until you've done your most important thing for the day. Then you check your email. And this you should, of course, get up pretty early so you don't, again, have to worry about work responsibilities and things cutting into that. But anyway, next you check it at noon. At night, you check it not right before bed, but you do check it at night. And maybe you truly have to check it more than that or you'll be fired. But in all likelihood, you can check it only 3 times a day, and you really, really should do everything you can to stop checking your email so much, stop spending so much time on your email. When you read an email, immediately delegate or delete / file away the email. So for the do, you read the email and then you decide if you can do this thing immediately, get it done, because it's just easier. Maybe it's like a 5-minute thing, and it's simpler to do it right now instead of having to read it later and realize how to do it and all that. So you do it immediately, or you schedule it on your calendar in the future. So that's the first one. Delegate, of course, is that you are presented with this piece of information in the email and you send it to somebody else because it's really more important that they know it, or it's their task, or maybe it is your responsibility but you have somebody that can do it, and so you send it to them to get it done. And then the last thing is to delete / file away, and you know how to do that. I mean, if it's crap, you delete it. If it's something that you probably should hold on to just for whatever reason, you can file it away in a marked folder, and you should have, of course, whatever kinds of marked folders you need. Send less emails to receive less emails, and keep your emails as short as possible. Don't contribute to the email problem yourself. Indicate if action is required / if your email is important in the title. A lot of people are swamped with the email, so you definitely want to indicate if it is important. Right, next up is meetings. So for meetings, everyone should stand up. You do not include unnecessary people. You keep it as short and as clear as possible. You do not allow smartphones. You schedule and attend the meetings as a last resort when all other forms of communication won't work. I mean, meetings are almost entirely a waste of time for the most part, and you follow the rules I just spoke about. That's how to have meetings that do shit. Quote, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett. Every yes is a no to something else, so you must make it count. Focus. Say no to everything that does not support your goals and responsibilities. Always remember the 80-20 rule. Use your time on the 20% of activities that produce 80% of results. And start with, again, the most important of these, and work from your most important tasks to least important tasks, as mentioned before. I know I keep saying this. I keep saying it for a reason, so you can listen to it and get it burned into your fucking brain, because there are few things more important for success than to remember what I just said. Next, you drop useless tasks. You delegate everything you can, starting with things you don't like and are not good at. Some things you should learn how to get better at, but play to your strengths, right? Some things you don't need to learn. You need to delegate. You don't need to learn how to change your fucking oil. Just pay someone else to do it. It's better use of your time to work on your core abilities, redesign activities and routines to make them simple, save time, and get rid of bottlenecks. Theming your days. And this is one of those, it's not theoretical per se, but many of you won't be able to do it. That being said, if you can do it, this is very, very important. So, theming your days. Theming your days is to spend a day working on nothing but one set of tasks, or even one task. So if you can work an entire day on one task, you get incredibly focused and you get fucking loads of shit done. And it's the same thing like if you, let's say you have 3 different sets of tasks and you were actually able to break them up into 3 distinct days. Like, oh, this day I'm doing all of these similar tasks. Next day I'm doing all of these similar tasks. It's very easy to build momentum and get much more done than if you have to switch between different types of tasks throughout your day, which is what you likely have to do. But again, if you can theme, do. If a task is short enough not to interfere with a pre-scheduled task on your calendar, so short enough means if it's 5 minutes or less. So I'll just read it again. If a task is short enough, 5 minutes or less, not to interfere with a pre-scheduled task on your schedule, then do it immediately. Have a mindset of touch it once. Don't come back to it later, especially for mail and email. Once you have started a task, finish it. Switching between tasks wastes time, and so does multitasking. Have a fucking solid morning routine. Here's some ideas. You get up early, 5 or 6. You exercise. You eat a big breakfast with lots of protein, fat, and fiber. You read your ultimate goals / most important things in life to remember. Maybe that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you put for that. You shower and get dressed. You listen to motivating music or an audiobook while you do the exercise and all of this. And then you get at it. You start work on your most important task, or maybe you do your commute. Just depends on your schedule. Increase your energy to increase your productivity. Energy starts with health. You have to eat healthy. I have a whole dedicated thing for that, so I won't say anything about it here. You have to exercise. The most important thing for increasing your energy is high-intensity cardiovascular exercise. Now, you should do weights too, because being strong is cool, and it makes you look good and all that, but high-intensity cardio is ultimately the most important form of exercise. Get plenty of sleep. Don't get fat. Don't do anything that is bad for you, like smoke, drink, all that crap. Hey, because don't be a prude when people ask you to say, oh no thanks. When people ask you, oh, do you want a drink, you want a cigarette, whatever, you say, oh no thanks. You don't be like, oh, I don't smoke. I don't have a problem with people doing that, but some people find it annoying. So anyway, next, productivity is about energy and focus, way more than the amount of available time. If you have energy, ultimately energy is the most important thing. You have to have really high energy. And then it's about focus. And it's just amazing how much work you can get done if you have high energy and great focus skills, and you cut out all the distractions and all the stuff we've talked about in this blogcast thing that you're listening to. So next, have a stop doing list, not just a to-do kind of list thing. And you still can have a to-do list until the things are scheduled. If you don't know, you don't have it scheduled yet, you do kind of keep it on this to-do list in your notebook. And maybe I'll go more in depth about notebooking, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, you avoid social media. It's a time killer, and to be honest, most of the internet's a time killer. But the biggest time killer of all, in that there's literally no benefit at all, is TV. Don't watch TV. That's easy for me. I find it incredibly boring. There's nothing on TV I want to watch. But again, don't watch TV. And so we'll end this with some great quotes by smart peoples. So, a wise person does it once what a fool does at last. Both do the same thing, only at different times. Balthazar Gracian. Better 3 hours too soon than 1 minute too late. That's William Shakespeare. He who knows most grieves most for wasted time. That's Dante. And you never get your time back, folks. So you listen to this, you actually apply it, okay? You don't just fuck around with it. And final quote, there is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. Peter Drucker. All right, I think that this was very helpful, very useful. Find value in it, apply it in your life, and signing out.